forward with the ball.
Yeah.
As Alty still are. It's interesting to me that Colclough's decided to move from left to right this early. He's going to go for goal, just show what you predicted, John.
Yep.
Up into the sky and an easy clutch catch for McDonald. That's typical Colclough, though.
Typical Colclough, absolutely. You wouldn't have got odds on that, I don't think. I think
no, he's
full of taking a bet.
Full of confidence.
Yep.
Down here it's Partington. All the way back to Boyce. Another 31-year-old. Another Welsh under-21 international, incidentally. They're all good footballers, these fellas. That's going to be too long. Just a bit too much weight on the pass there from Ben House, who, strangely, is a Scotland under-21 international.
Oh, there you are. Just to vary things a little bit.
Yeah, not everybody's Welsh. And spectators in all four corners of the ground.
Yep.
Fabulous. That's a handy bounce. Kirby flicks it to the right. Densmore's run. Ball just bobbled in front of Densmore, but then it will be Smith, who's got a few goals. He scored against Notts County here the other week. Good goal by all accounts. Every goal is good. Who's going to pick this one up? It will be the Eastleigh defence. Aside from Hampshire, a long journey for them. But then nearly every journey is long in this division. So many teams from the south, the likes of Dover and Torquay. You won't have to go to Sutton next season, though.
No, they'll all be looking for Hartlepool away on the calendar. The clock at the miles there.
Well, I know everybody here was disappointed that Notts County didn't come when they should have done, I think.
Yep.
Oh, they were hoping to go to Notts County, rather, last season when the pandemic set in.
Yes.
Corner kick. Of course, we have alternate ball systems nowadays. We don't have too many ball boys around for various reasons. So it's a separate ball to the one that was kicked out, and it's been picked up by Jack Payne. I've seen him play down the years for some good teams.
Yeah. He's swapping it as well. Looks like.
Yeah. Ball rotation. Eventually, he'll take the corner kick. Still not happy about the ball, are they? Still not satisfied. Please can we have our ball back?
That's what you call fussy.
Yes, fussy. There used to be a referee called
Yes,
Fussy.
there was indeed.
Do you remember that?
I wonder what his style of refereeing was like.
Unfussy.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he said. Payne's corner here for Eastleigh, seeking a lead. Goes all the way through. Well, anyway, we'll do. That was the message there, and that's the one accepted by Alty. Just get rid of that ball. They'll try and do the same here now. It is Barnett trying to turn on it. He can't. Others in blue will latch onto this ball, however. Picked up by Bird. Well defended. Well, that's very strong in the tackle there. Miley does a 180-degree turn. And then it's Payne, and he'll launch it here. Bit of spin on the ball, but it will enable Partington to get onto it, to check inside. He was always going to do that. First touch a bit heavy, goes for goal. Ball breaks. Smith's on the canter. He's got people moving ahead of him as well. The first of those is Mooney. He's out on that right touchline. Hancock will be in the centre. First big chance here for Alty to get something on the board. Well, it was a rather optimistic attempt, I felt, from Mooney. He was 30 yards at least out. Comfortably covered. And still the sun shines.
It does in Altrincham.
I know. I've heard that before. Danger this time is to Altrincham. Can he go all the way here? That will be the question. He does go virtually all the way and is still in charge of the situation. But eventually it's nicked away from Ben Howes, who's strong and resourceful.
Good defending by Tom Hannigan there, John. It really was to block the shot. Watch his man all the way. Time the challenge to perfection.
Yeah, the former Charlie Rose defender. I think he missed him a little bit this season at times.
Yep.
Interesting that Ogle's on the bench this evening. The Australian has virtually been ever present in the first team since his arrival on loan from Accrington. That one could have gone anywhere. As it happens, it falls into the hands of Eastleigh's Danny Holland, their captain. Another in the veteran stages at 35. Same age as Barnett, the tall striker. Partington this time. Continuity of selection has been a big factor for Eastleigh this season. You can virtually reel off the team before they arrive.
It's got to help, I think, isn't it? The players know each other, their styles, and that's
very
got to
much
be
so.
Beneficial.
Yeah, some clubs have been very unfortunate with injuries. Alty, as you mentioned there, with Hannigan. Costello was out for a spell as well. He's on the bench tonight. But it is Alty in the possession. Mooney can't thread this one through. The other thing about the hollow experiences we've deemed it earlier was you could hear everything out there. Every word spoken by the players and the referees. And
well, we were occasionally having to apologise on air for any bad language.
I know, I've heard it a few times.
It might have been audible from the outside left who's just been upended by the fullback.
Might just be a corner, has it? No. I was actually at one match, John, where we had to apologise for the referee's assistant's language.
Oh dear.
That was different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alty's throwing. Colcliffe's not looking too interested in receiving the ball, but it'd be a foul throw if they did throw it to him. That's certainly a legal one. Bolt. Two teams still looking for the breakthrough on this evening. Barnett's not going to expend too much energy chasing that one, so it is turned back by Hannigan to Thompson.
I think Eastleigh have looked a threat in the air, John, haven't they? They've won an awful lot in the air. That could be a fruitful way of threatening.
There's some big lads these days, aren't there?
Yeah, you're right.
You don't get too many tiny players. Referee says, play on there. No foul on Mooney. So Eastleigh will play on. Their away record obviously good. They've won 7 times on the road this season, drawn 5 times and just lost 7. Whereas Alty at home have won 6, drawn 4 and lost 9. That's too many home defeats.
Yeah.
But we've said before that it was their first season back, having been elevated via the playoffs last year, beating Boston United. So just to cement the place in the division has been good. This is Colcliffe, and we know he's good. He's won the free kick as well. He's got quick feet.
Yes, he has. Yeah, and just to pick up the point you made there, John. I mean, Altrincham are well. Should there have been relegation, it wouldn't have been a concern for Altrincham whatsoever. We're well clear of those lower places, so that's an achievement in itself, I think.
And a well-run club.
Yeah, absolutely. Expectations went through the roof, as we were saying, when we went to Torquay and won and were in 4th place, and people dared to dream about could a playoff place be feasible. I don't think it ever was really. But looking at it as a whole, it's been a very satisfactory first season back.
No rush here because the referee hasn't blown the whistle yet, but they've gradually ambled up into positions of potential danger of those in red. Looks as though it's going to be Mooney's left foot here. He'll curl it as far away from the goalkeeper as he can. Smith got a touch on it, and it's back with Kirby. Still got plenty of bodies across here. Oh, it's going to be grabbed before anybody in the red shirt can get a touch on it. It's through to goalkeeper McDonald, is only too grateful to put his big paws on it.
That was Malarkey's driven cross. I think it might have bounced off Pierce Bird, I'm not sure, but it was off an Eastleigh defender for sure. It could have gone anywhere, but fortunately just bobbled harmlessly into the arms of Joe McDonald.
Yeah, some spectators shielding their eyes against the sun.
At a night match, I repeat.
First time I've said that in a long time.
Indeed.
It's usually shielding yourselves against the gale.
Yeah, yeah.
If my son was actually playing golf over this way yesterday. It was a beautiful evening. Was a beautiful evening. Having not looked too promising earlier.
So changeable.
Well, not to be fooled there, Payne.
Yeah.
House. Kenny was looking for Payne. That was the intended target. Smith will look up here, thread it through. It's a brilliant ball from him. Mooney gets there. The goalkeeper went just for a second, then checked. Good job he did. Mooney reverses the ball here for Densmore, and he hits the first line of defence. And it is lobbed into the penalty area eventually. Away pretty well first time. But it looks like they're going to salvage that situation. The decision is play the ball back to the other goalkeeper in the space of about 5 seconds.
They can be effective in the air in their own area as well as Altrincham, can't they, John? They're, again, winning everything that's played in if it's in the air.
Yep, very much so. Densmore's balled. That's going to roll out, but it rolls out quite close to the corner flag, but it will be a throw-in. It's never a great position to take a throw-in, I always think.
No, I quite agree, especially if the opposition puts some pressure on you. I'd like to see Alty players getting right on the back of East League players who are trying to receive the ball, keep them down there, hemmed in, and it can be a difficult position to play your way out of. You're quite right. But look at the space he had there to do that.
Yeah.
That was too easy.
Much too easy. 20 minutes is roundabout gone here in the J. Davidson Stadium. Interesting encounter with a night of great import for the visitors from Eastleigh. Partington. Well, that is one to be chased. All about the back pass here. Thompson, bags of time, will clear, and he'll straightforward clearance for the goalkeeper. Had to be effective, but he picked out his man. As goalkeepers nowadays are expected to be very good with their feet.
To be footballers, yes, absolutely they are, John. Yeah,
yeah, it's not just about making saves anymore. Tickle back, one to back to the other. Boyce and Bird. Boyce, a very popular figure, so he's the Players' Player of the Year at Eastleigh this season. 31 years of age. He's played every single game, as has the goalkeeper. Continuity, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah. Good tackle there, and a decent passer as well from Hannigan. Oh, that's not far off the mark, is it? And a very, probably the best attempt we've seen so far from Alty. It came about because of the interception of the pass from Hannigan.
Yes, it was indeed, and that's just Colclough to a T yet again. And it could be right foot or left foot, doesn't make a scrap of difference. You know the ball's going to be hit with some force, and it was the keeper. McDonald was scrambling across his goal, wasn't he? And was struggling to get to it. Was mightily relieved when it passed just the wrong side of the post from an Altrincham perspective. But great opportunism by Colclough. Yeah,
he's always willing to have a go. He's got 7 goals since his arrival here from Scunthorpe United, and that was around about Christmas time, so it's very productive. Smith, back pass, well, I wasn't sure it was on there, but he's managed to find an angle to effect that, and it's a long ball curling in the wind. The wind is such an important factor in these matches. Back by Molt. Further back by Senior. Molt, umpteenth season here at Altrincham, 400 odd appearances.
Glad to see him back in his favoured central midfield anchor role after filling in at centre half on Saturday, John.
Yes, he had. Although he did an effective job.
He can do it, no doubt about that.
Yeah, but you lose something in the midfield.
Yeah, you do. Yep. That authority he brings.
Very true. Again, Senior. Hancock chasing after it. Pleased to see him get back among the goals at the weekend as well. And Tom Pears.
Yep.
This is a...
Ooh, nearly.
Cool and collected at the back. Eastleigh, that's part of the secret of their success. They've conceded just 37 goals in 40 matches. That tells a story in itself.
Impressive. Yeah. Well drilled units at the back, clearly.
Yeah. Senior's asking for it. Might eventually get to him. There we are. Yeah, they heard us. Under the boot of Senior this time, though. Still a very young man, isn't he? At 21 years of age. It's a bit of defending to do here. Manages successfully against Cav Miley. But the spectators are absorbed. I think that's the fair enough phrase to use. One thing I think to mention is Eastleigh haven't really created much yet. There was that early opportunity for Barnett when he couldn't twist on the shot.
Yes.
But at the weekend, Yeovil had 3 opportunities by this stage.
Well, absolutely. I think they hit both posts, or still hit a post twice in those early moments. One when Thompson diverted onto the inside of a post, and another when Quigley was clean through and clipped the outside of the post.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, they were dangerous.
Oh, they were, indeed. I mean, at 2-0 at half-time, I felt it wasn't quite as comfortable as that scoreline suggests, and so it proved, of course.
Yeah, when they got those 3 goals in 17 minutes, you feared the worst.
Indeed.
That's football for you. You never know. You never know in this game. And this one can certainly go either way, to use another well-worn cliche.
Yes.
Picked up by McDonald. He's only 26, McDonald. Played for Notts County last season. There'll be another club that will be mightily disappointed if they don't go up. you expect the Notts Counties, the Wrexhams, the Chesterfields to be involved. Partington, nice little clip down the touchline. Well, covered by Molt, who took up his weekend position there for a change again.
Yes. What have we got here?
The referee's coming over to just have a word with somebody down on the...
Goldcliff needs something.
That's Goldcliff who's needing something, yeah. Not quite sure. He's got to come off the pitch. Yeah, he's got to do that, whatever it might be.
Tablet?
We've got a close-up view of this, haven't we?
Tablet of some sort, John, I think.
Yeah.
Headache or...
Yeah, yes, he's having a tablet and a drink of something. Well,
so that does
who knows?
Whatever it might be.
A Leicester City match was stopped recently for a player who was in Ramadan to take on something during the course of the game.
The lad at the central defender, yeah, that's right.
That's
Yes. His name escapes me, but yeah, I remember that.
Left-footed Thompson across field. There was a huge gap over there, and he's just not measured it quite right. That was like a fielder, a boundary on the boundary, struggling to get back to try and catch the ball, and he just can't get there. If he'd used his hands, then he would have done it. Well, that's a handy break. Senior nutmegs the opponent, but to no avail. And that will stay in play. The question is, can he get to it, or well, poke it along the line? It's still in play, mind you, and still has to be dealt with, which it was. Hancock's on his own totally. He's playing a lone role up the front there as a out-and-out centre forward. Well, I was pleased he got a goal. He'd had a bit of a barren run by his standards, but put that to rights with the winner.
And it was a poacher's goal, John, wasn't it, really? Just in the right place at the right time, outstretched boot and steering it into the corner of the net, Yeah,
excellent goal. Firm back pass from Partington to McDonnell. Say 16 clean sheets this season, and what he would give for number 17. But of course, a point for Eastleigh is okay, but they really do need the 3 if they're to jump up the table this evening. The only match being played, I think, this evening in the National League. Most sides have played 40 games, or even 41. That's an intriguing one on Saturday. Halifax at home to Chesterfield. Once again, beautifully timed the interception from Malarkey, who came out of the Crewe Alexandra Academy. We all know that they create very, very good footballers at Crewe.
They certainly do. We've had one or two of them here as well, John. They've been, they've all, without exception, impressed.
Yeah. And of course, assistant manager Neil Sorvell was there as a player.
Yeah.
And at Macclesfield?
Indeed, yes. We'll try and keep that quiet, but he was. Yes. He does have
Sorry
to,
about that.
He does have
the wrong word.
Yeah, he has to own up to that one.
I'll put it down to loss of memory.
Yeah, there must have been some explanation for it. There must have been.
Molt, who's dropped back a little bit in the last few minutes, just to supplement that back line. But Barnett's not been a threat as yet. The 11-goal man, he got 11 goals last season, Tyrone Barnett as well, by coincidence.
It's been a very tight game, John, hasn't it?
Very.
As you said, very, very few by way of clear-cut chances.
Yeah, Goldcliff that one shot. And Barnett at the other end. Quick thinking there.
But
then, unfortunately, not the sort of pass that Hancock wanted, really.
That's his forte, Hancock, turning like that when the ball arrives at his feet, shaking off a close marker, but unfortunately the delivery didn't quite match up.
No, nobody's quite put the moves together as yet this evening. Defence is on top, I think, is the old phrase that you and I might have used in journalistic days.
So, yeah.
And newspapers.
It would have
now Goldcliff. And this time he does pass the ball, and there will be support racing up on the right. It's Densmore, I think. Mooney.
You know what?
Well, you knew what he wanted. He wanted it on his left foot, get the shot away, but he didn't do it.
He thought of it, and for some reason thought better of it and took an extra pace. He should have hit it when that thought crossed his mind. But for some reason he thought take an extra pace, and the chance was lost.
The referee allowed play to go on there. There's a bit of pressure here, but steered to safety, though, by Hannigan, who's made an impressive comeback.
Yes.
Hancock the target, but it's always going to be too long for him. It's drifting. I think if there is a wind, it's going that way down the pitch just a little bit. Towards the stand there, I always call it the Carroll and Fred Nash Terrace.
Indeed,
That's
yes.
splendid, isn't it?
Just trips off the tongue, really.
I'm glad you thought so. How long have we had? We've had 31 minutes.
The check is end, otherwise known as. Actually, they are very good supporters of the club, Carroll and Fred Nash. All joking aside, their support has been very much appreciated down the years.
Oh, I'm glad I gave them a mention there.
Yeah, well done.
Malt, who has played at the higher level in the professional game, of course. This one's going to be ballooned out into the stand near us, much further across. I'd have been heading that one. As it is, Partington slips it down the line. Yeah. Senior's not missed a trick. Partington again. There's not a lot for him to aim at, but he will launch it in there. Thompson, clean gloves.
Yep. Decisive goalkeeping. He called for it, came and caught it.
And a great ball as well to Smith. And he keeps the move going along with Mooney. Both sides are looking for that one decisive pass. Well, you knew what was on his mind there, Smith, with that pass aimed out to that right-hand touchline, but it just gave too much time for the midfielder to come back.
House read that quite well.
He did.
He's actually blind, I think, to when the ball was played, hidden by another player, but he just suddenly appeared. He read it and made the interception.
Barnett loses out on the jump with Malarkey. And Hancock loses out at the other end of the field to Boyce. No, it's a very even contest, is this one.
It is.
And yeah, well played. He did well not to commit a foul there, Smith, as well. Ref says play on here. That was no foul either. Well, this referee's allowing things to go, and at least he was consistent there. Could have blown the whistle very easily. Partington plays it right. First attempted cross is blocked. This is Payne now. He'll nick one across there. Well, those are the heart-stopping moments for the fans where they're shouting, get rid of it.
Yes.
And eventually they did.
Malarkey seemed to know what he was doing, to be fair, and picked out a pass to a teammate, so well done.
Yeah, Malarkey, Hannigan have missed nothing so far.
Yeah.
I'll say it's been a very barren half for Tyrone Barnett.
Yep. Haven't seen much of him, have we?
He hasn't. But he's just starting to move the ball around a little. You were saying, John, about the ripping up the pitch at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I think it is necessary. This is Barnett now. Thinks about having the shot. Instead, he delivers it into the wide right position. He'll be across in the centre. Could have gone anywhere. That's the most dangerous cross. That was a senior-like cross from the weekend.
Yes, it was, that Pearce turned in. Unfortunately, from an Eastleigh perspective, I think that's Ben House, isn't it? Couldn't turn in that cross from Joe Tomlinson.
That's right.
Flashed in across him, and it was indeed House who stuck out a boot, just eluded him, but that was a really dangerous moment for Altrincham. It was. Yeah,
probably the best movement of the match because it involved all the front players.
You said about the pitch. Yeah, the main problem, John, has been drainage. Really, games have been called off. Right. Just an isolated downpour. It's almost been that bad. So we're addressing that, but also you can see that could do that. It's a bit of an uneven surface, isn't it, for all the ground staff's efforts?
It is. And I don't want to be too critical of that because it's that time of year where all sorts of pitches prevail. Yeah. Of course, I think I have time to mention that Sutton United being promoted, they've got to rip up their artificial surface as Harrogate did last year. Cross here now to the right back position for Tomlinson. He's going to have a go for goal as well, and it bobbled and bounced, and Thompson just shovels it away, spooned it out of his hands. Really, it was an awkward bounce. And this is House again.
Good defending.
It's gone out, but it's goal kick, well defended again.
He must have been tempted there, Hannigan, to slide in and get a tackle in, but he read that actually that ball, if he just shielded it, was going to go out and play for a goal kick. And good defending by Hannigan. It was.
It was a decent shot from Tomlinson. It's his first year with the club, and he's got 12 goals. He's got a few from. He's got a 100% record from the penalty spot, incidentally. So he's got the majority for that way. No,
not even Bruno Fernandes has missed one. So if you keep a 100% record, takes some doing.
I think you and I remember Matt Letitia, who only ever missed one, I think.
Yep. Or going further back, I think Ray Stewart, the West Ham fullback, was a real good penalty taker, wasn't he?
Yeah, just for the younger viewers, Ray Stewart was an excellent fullback who came down from Scotland to West Ham, well, back in the 80s,
Yeah,
but when you and I were working.
Indeed, absolutely. No, it has to be said. Absolutely, we were.
I just like sometimes these youngsters, football didn't begin with the Premier League. There was football played in this country before the Premier League.
Oh, crikey, yeah. Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, none of this League 1, League 2 nonsense.
No, absolutely.
Division 4, yeah.
The goalkeeper just needed a little help there from the physiotherapist. They've never lost to Altrincham, Eastleigh. I'm sorry to worry you with that statistic, but they've played each other 5 times. Eastleigh have won 2, and there have been 3 draws.
Yes.
But never much between them.
No, not much between them tonight either. It's been a good, tight encounter so far.
Absolutely nothing. And a word again for the man in black. I think he's kept it moving along nicely. There hasn't been a bad foul in the game.
No.
Which sometimes does happen on uneven surfaces. But all she could do with the back-to-back wins for what would be the first time in 2 months.
Yeah.
As we resume with Thompson's goal kick. Came from that very dangerous move. He's got a good kick on him, hasn't he, as well?
Oh, yeah.
Horse's hoof time, is that?
Foot. No two ways about that.
Moult came out stronger there. Smith comes out strongly too. Although he covers the ground quickly, well, he's got the free kick. He takes it quickly as well, but the referee on this occasion is going to halt proceedings.
I think he can count himself a little bit lucky there, Alistair Smith. He seemed to be just crowded up, basically, taking on 2 or 3 players in a very tight spot. But the referee saw an infringement. Free kick it is.
John, Alistair Smith's one of those players. The ball bobbles about off his shins, and he still emerges with it more often than not. There are players like that.
Yeah.
Gangly, I think is the word for it. Free kick Altrincham in 17th position. They seem to have been 17th for weeks.
Yes, I think we have.
But they will close to within 3 points of Aldershot Town if they win this one. And that's good pressure from Moult. Excellent. But Eastleigh do still emerge with the ball. And it will be played down the line. Nobody seemed interested in going for that one at all. Curious. I thought it must have been going out over the touchline, but not so.
No.
That's accuracy. Kirby. That goal will have done Kirby good as well in his.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, he looks a solid little player. Keeps things ticking over and does a good job. But I thought he took his goal extremely well. Didn't have much time to react, but just buried it in the top of the net. It was a good goal.
Wasn't much thought about that pass, to be fair. It was just played hammered down the middle of the field. And that was meat and drink for this mean Eastleigh defence. Straight out to the toe of the assistant referee on this side of the field, who's Mr. Daniel Guest. Lewis Dawson, the other holder of a flag this evening, and Alex Gray, the 4th official. Senior's throw. Made his debut, funnily enough, at Eastleigh last season, did Senior. And he's come on a pace since then. He's been
another very good signing.
Yeah.
John, no two ways about that. He has a really good signing. He was a trialist and he took the eye and was offered a permanent position, and he's really made the most of it.
I've just had a feeling about Coldclough here. I think the reason he's switched from left to right is because Tomlinson has switched his normal fullback position. He's normally the left back, and he's moved to right back for Eastleigh, and therefore Coldclough, who was rather fancying his chances against the other fullback, has moved across there. Miley, and then could be a bit of menace here. Oh, well, those are the ones where you despair a little bit as a fan. You know what's in the player's mind. 1 in 1,000 of those comes off, I would suggest.
Yeah, unless you're Ryan Coldclough, specialises
Gareth Bale, maybe.
Yes, moving up a notch or two. But, it's Coldclough who makes a clean connection with that sort of opportunity time and time again. But there are very few players of that calibre around who can do that at this sort of level, and that was hopelessly miscued. Yeah,
they used to say that about George Best. The teammates saying, "What is he doing here? Oh, what is he? Oh, what a fantastic goal!"
Yeah, fond memories.
Yeah, I'm told our old friend Fred Ayre's here this evening as well.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah,
indeed.
what a great man, Fred Ayre. Written some books in his time. And,
Yes, he has.
Played professionally for many clubs, including my club, which you know is Bradford Park Avenue.
Did he? I didn't know he played for
won
Park
very
Avenue.
badly in
Right.
his words.
Oh,
But
right, yes.
he had one appearance for several clubs.
Yes.
Lincoln City. Anyway,
Manchester City, didn't he?
yeah, nice to know Fred's in the ground. And Manchester City.
Yeah.
May see him later. Bad bounce of the ball there from an Eastleigh perspective. Good bounce for Altrincham, but it's still Eastleigh who emerged with the ball, and that might be dangerous. It is over the top of the defender. This is the chance where the touch is heavy. Referee is going to award a penalty, I think. No, he's awarding a dive. He's awarding a dive against the Eastleigh man.
Big call, that, John.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to have a look at this one. It was Ben Howes.
Yeah, and his first touch looked really good. It looks to have played him through. That was all important, that first touch, and he looked to have done everything perfectly.
Well, the yellow card is in
I guess if he's
in the hands of
deemed it
Mr.
to be a
Parsons.
dive, then
There it
there
is,
will
look.
be. Yeah, look.
Payne's long ball.
Now, that first touch was great. There didn't seem to be much contact, did there? Tom Hannigan's absolutely incensed with what he saw as an attempt to con the referee into giving a penalty. The referee wasn't having it.
It's become such a talking point in football, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
And it's so. I mean, the referee's 30 yards away because it was a long ball played over the top.
We've had the benefit of the slow motion action replay to arrive at the conclusion that there wasn't really any contact or minimal, not enough for him to go down like that. The referee has to make that call.
Yeah.
Seeing it live in real time, first time in a split second, and when they get it right, you've got to have the utmost admiration for them.
Well said, John. 0-0 it is as we approach half-time. Alt is still looking to try and create a chance. They had a lot on Saturday. Scored 4 times, which was as many as they'd scored in the previous 6 matches. Again, Senior did his job. A lot of shouting going on. I can't think there's been too much stoppage time.
No, not a great deal.
So, hope you're enjoying watching Alty TV with the night that Eastleigh might well cement their position in the table and move up 3 places from 9th. And they've got one game to come, of course, at the weekend, which is a home game. Away game, sorry. They're away at Solihull Moors, where Torquay will come here. Keeper missed it, and it landed on top of the net and not under the crossbar.
That's the other thing Ryan Goldcliffe does. He comes out with the most audacious attempts to cause problems with it from a corner, taking the corner himself. Of course, he actually scored direct from the corner away in an away game. My recollection, powers of recollection on what there should be an away game anyway.
Yes.
Where it basically trickled along the ground, and the fullback on the post took this swing at it, missed it, and it just bobbled over the line.
Goldcliffe
scored? Absolutely. He will have you believe that
he intended that. He was mind reading the defender.
Yes.
Talked him into missing the ball. And Alty have it, and they've got a free kick as well, right on the halfway line. Won't be taken quickly. Discipline is such an important factor in this game. I mentioned at the weekend that Yeovil were the first club to bring up a century of yellow cards for the season. But these two sides' disciplinary records are pretty good.
Yep.
And the half is coming towards a conclusion. We're in the last minute of the 45. It's taken quickly. Densmore featured. Mooney features. And then... not quite sure what they're intending here, but Malt's on the end of it. It's a looping header, but it's a very placid header almost.
From there, it had to go back across goal, I think, John, didn't it? Rather than, I don't think he was ever going to beat McDonald from that position, Tom Hannigan.
So Partington for Eastleigh. Tomlinson. The Spitfires, that's the Eastleigh nickname. And they'll be happy enough, they'll be very happy if they win it 1-0 in the last minute.
That would suit them down to the ground, absolutely.
Barnett does win this header. Once again, an awkward bounce of the ball that didn't confuse Malt. It's a very high standard, is football in the National League.
It is the quality of some of the individual players as well as some of the team, the pattern of play that you see from some teams as a unit is quite eye-catching at times.
We've moved into 2 minutes of added time in this first half here at the J. Davidson Stadium. This one bounces through to goalkeeper Joe McDonnell. Yeah, it's basically Division 5.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody would complain at that description. And as you and I know, National League North is not to be sniffed at either. Some good teams in there.
There are some full-time ones.
Barnet going for it, but beaten in the air by the excellent Malarkey. That's a better move forward, and the ball is a good one here, and this does present an opportunity in the last minute of the half, or the first minute of added time in the half for Eastleigh, but they've been closed down. Alty have defended their net very well so far this evening. Payne again. Partington again. Chip over the top. Senior to cover. Hopes to see it dead. Has to take some evasive action and plays it off the opponent for the goal kick. Good defending.
Yes, it was. I think we've seen two very compact, well-organised, effective defensive units. John, when they've called upon to keep their goal intact, I think both sides have done really well in that department.
Alty have conceded 59 goals this season, which is 22 more than Eastleigh, and they've scored 3 fewer goals. But yeah, that's not a lot in it, really. But in terms of points, of course, Eastleigh have 20 more. The manager, of course, Ben Strevens, is a former Eastleigh player and had a lot of Football League experience with the likes of Barnet and Brentford, all southern clubs, Wickham, Gillingham, Dagenham and Redbridge. You get a lot of lads playing around those teams and ending up as the managers.
You do, indeed.
Whereas Thompson is a good old Scouser. Good long kick from him again, and might yield something even yet for those in the red and white of Altrincham. But not anymore, because we have reached the interval. It's half-time here in the J. Davidson Stadium. It's been interesting. We've not had too many chances for either side. Eastleigh will be happy enough. Their dream is still alive of becoming a Football League club. The least they could do tonight is stay in the playoffs and jump up a few places. Altrincham have coped well with the situation. 0-0.
Yes, I'd say that's a fair assessment, John. They have. It's been a good tight encounter. Not a classic by any means, not a great deal of goalmouth action or clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities, but there's a lot at stake, particularly for Eastleigh, but for Altrincham as well, because Altrincham are keen to at least finish top of the promoted teams, the teams that came up to the National League along with them. John, they're in pole position to do that, so they've got plenty to play for as well, quite apart from the opportunity to impress the fans and show them what they've been missing while they've been away. So looking forward very much to an equally engrossing second half, and we'll be back to describe all the action in a few minutes, so please do join us again for the start of the second half. Welcome back to the J. Davison Stadium for the second half of tonight's game between Altrincham and Eastleigh. The sun is still shining. How about that? This is, folks, an evening kick-off, I promise you. We haven't turned the clocks back, but it just shows how near the end of the season we are. A late May evening, a very pleasant one here. Very, very evenly poised encounter between Altrincham and Eastleigh. Goalless, all to play for. We're about to start the second half, and I'll hand over to our match commentator, John Helm.
Thank you, John. It is May, you know. I mean, we are supposed to see some sunshine in May. In fact, a year ago, if you remember, when the pandemic first struck us, we had wonderful weather in May, with clear skies, and everybody said it's because there are no planes in the skies anymore.
Yes, of course.
Anyway, yes, welcome back, everybody. It is 0-0. Old phrase, everything to play for. Eastleigh with a lot to play for this evening. This is their 41st match of the season. And just a reminder, if they win here tonight, they leapfrog Bromley, Chesterfield and Wrexham, who can do nothing about it because they aren't playing. Everybody's final games at the weekend to come. So Eastleigh in the blue and white, the Spitfires against the Robins here. And it's the Robins captain Moult who heads away first time, then Smith as well. Hancock is going to win a free kick. You're right, he uses his body well. He turns his body and uses it well.
It's like a half turn, John. He does it time and again so effectively, so clever, and usually buys himself some space and time, as he did there, drew the foul.
Yeah, we hear of half pikes in swimming and diving. It's a half turn from Hancock here, who has 12 goals now this season. He once scored an FA Cup goal at Fratton Park against Portsmouth, so he's got pedigree. All these players. Moult steps in, threads it through for Smith, and then the ball is lost. I think it's fair to say both defences have been on top so far this evening. Now it's Densmore. What a good servant he's been as well. A turn from Mooney, a shot from Mooney, and that's going to end in the Gulf Road.
Yeah, I've likened him to Ryan Colclough before now for his willingness to shoot from sort of any distance. I suppose the difference is that while Colclough's very two-footed, you'll only get Dan Mooney doing that when it's on his left foot, as it was there. But he saw the opportunity. Can't blame him for having a pop. Just too much elevation on it.
No, absolutely not. And Altrincham in this half. Oh, the goalkeeper slips as he clears, which produces the inevitable yay from those fans. They love to see a mishap, shall we call it?
Indeed.
Yes, Altrincham attacking the end where they scored all those two late goals to win the points on Saturday against Yeovil Town. As you can see, we have spectators all around the ground here. And the training staffs as well, they're bigger these days with the physiotherapists and the medical people, conditioners, video researchers, and you name it, there's a job there. Densmore gets his pass away, despite the tensions there of the left full-back, Green. Altringham's throw. Densmore quick to take it, and he's got an obvious target in Mooney, who shimmies and then shuffles and little tricks with the ball before it's laid back for Kirby. Kirby enjoying his stint here, I feel. Mooney, he's going to go for a left foot. He's going to go for a right foot. It is Mooney. Overdid it. Yeah, he didn't want to shoot with his right foot there.
Yeah, I think that's the top and bottom of it, I think, John. Really clever little dummy first off, but then didn't fancy it on his right peg, and the defender saw what was coming.
At the other end is House, the one player who's been cautioned in this game so far. Ben House, for what the referee considered to be an old-fashioned dive, I suppose. No other word for it. I prefer dive to simulation.
Yes.
It's too posh, that, for football. Indeed. More promising from Eastleigh. I wonder what's been said in their dressing room by Ben Strevens. You know, we're doing okay here. Yeah. We're not conceding many opportunities, but if we're going to win this one, we've got to show a little bit more.
Urgency, to finish your sentence for you, John. Yes, a little bit more urgency. I think that's what's required, and it's certainly what was missing in the first half. They had plenty of possession and got forward well, certainly defended well, but when it got anywhere near the Altrincham penalty area, there wasn't too much in terms of creativity, other than the other couple of little half moments where you thought possibly Ben House might have had a chance, but came to nothing.
What Eastleigh have got is this free kick, which is going to be delivered by Jack Payne. His only goal this season was against Kings Lynn back in March. He's just going to loop it in. It's a bit flat, but it does find one of his own in there. That's not a place to be dribbling, but this is for Mooney. Don't think he's quite going to have the pace to get away, is he, down that side?
Well,
No, he's got the
He'll
free kick,
settle
though.
for the free kick, I think, because he was absolutely on his own, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was going nowhere, was he?
Not so splendid isolation.
Going down a dark alley there.
Yeah, indeed, he was, absolutely. So I think he'll settle for getting a free kick.
Altrincham 0, Eastleigh 0. Two clubs are very much established in the National League these days. What a great league it is. Of course, reorganisation for next year, so clubs way down at steps 7 and 8 are moving into different divisions. There's a lot of interesting football around the country. We are the envy of the rest of the world with the amount of top-class football on offer here. But this is definitely Altrincham and Eastleigh, and it's Altringham's attack, and the ball is flat, and it's a flick, and Hancock was going for it, and he's won the corner kick. Yeah,
I think I've given the benefit of the doubt. I think he might have deliberately dummied that, and there's of course some confusion behind him, which he did. It bounced off the Eastleigh defender who didn't know much about it for this corner.
And there's an unusual angle for you to watch from. As you can see, Mooney's stationed himself right beneath the crossbar behind the goalkeeper. It'd be lovely if it went to him, wouldn't it? It's a high ball, and well, they're able to cope again, but picked up by Kirby, and back here for Densmore. Very enthusiastic, and we'll get no more than a throw-in though as a result of Miley's tackle. They started the second half positively.
Yes, I'd say so, John, yeah. Positive intent.
Densmore. Flat ball across, dangerous, scuffed away. And there could be a break down that right touchline, depending on the pass here. But the ball is taken back in field. And then a long looping, probing sort of a ball, which shouldn't pose a problem, however. So it's back again with Thompson. Not the most convincing of clearances, however, and Payne managed to get his studs on it. Not sure if they have studs nowadays, but anyway, you know what I mean. Barnett gets a little shove in the back. Thought he was going to pull up there, actually, Barnett. But anyway, this is into a good position here for Green, and Green will loop one across here. There is danger. It's too long for the time being, though Barnett will retrieve the ball. And he'll pass it straight to the Altrincham man, who said, thanks very much. That was a bit curious. Yeah, referee waited to see if there was any advantage. When he decided there was going to be no advantage for Eastleigh, blew the whistle.
Yeah, it was a clear foul, certainly. That was the only question, John, you're right. Could an advantage accrue or not?
Yeah.
Decided not, so free kick.
I think the ref's had a good one.
He has.
Mr. Parsons. And a free kick. Eastleigh looking to get the lead here at Altrincham. That could have gone anywhere. The shot is fired in. There was a handball. I think we all knew that was not going to count, even if Thompson hadn't managed to stop it. Yeah, referee on top of the job. Still 0-0. Oh, well, that's a shocker of a clearance from Thompson. It just presents Miley with the chance to do what he did in the fixture earlier this season between these two clubs, and that's find the net. That really was a poor clearance from Thompson. Uncharacteristic, and Barnett's in for the header, and Barnett is in for the goal. And they have the lead here, and that all comes from the poor clearance from Tony Thompson, to be frank. But at the end of all of that, Tyrone Barnett has notched up goal number 12 of his season, and the 35-year-old, here he goes, much higher. He climbed way above Hannigan, and Eastleigh lead by the goal that they needed, 2-0.
It was always going to be the aerial route, I think, John. We've remarked already on what a threat they pose in the air, but they owe a debt of gratitude to what you can only say was a hurried clearance by Tony Thompson. It's the only reason I can think why he miscued it so badly. He rushed it when he didn't need to, and didn't Eastleigh capitalise with an excellent cross from Michael Green, and you always fancied Barnett to win that. And not only did he win it, he steered it with the greatest pinpoint accuracy, way beyond Tony Thompson's reach. 1-0 Eastleigh.
Yes, I don't know whether we'll get a chance to see that one again, but it did all go back to the goal kick.
Straight from that.
But,
and it was hurried, and it didn't need to be hurried. I can't think why else he would have made such a hash of it.
Barnett take a step closer to where they want to be, and that is 3 places higher than when they started the evening. They lead by 1-0. Densmore. Oh, and Densmore's going to lose it now. And these have been the poorest few minutes that Altrincham have had. first time they've looked a bit nervous, which is probably the wrong word for it, but they've started just to make one or two sloppy mistakes.
She's been caught out, absolutely. Just caught in possession there, Sean Densmore. And earlier, as we've said, it was really an inexplicable lapse by Tony Thompson to make such a mess, really, what should have been a routine clearance.
Yeah, it was a good cross from Green, it was a good header from Barnett, but that should never have happened.
No, it should.
And now they're up against another pain-free kick here. Again of potential promise. Launched, and they've got big fellas, although this one is going to go wide. And no damage done on that occasion. They have these very tall centre-backs.
Yeah, they've been dominant in the air in both boxes, I'd say, John, really, defending or attacking. So it's no surprise that should be where the goal came from.
No, they're having a good spell, aren't they? That goal has really lifted and visibly lifted Eastleigh, and they're getting a lot of free kicks at the moment as well. Altrincham facing what would be a 10th home defeat of the season. There have been some really disappointing ones as well. I'm trying to think who it was. They were 2-0 up at half-time and lost 3-2. Might have been Barnet.
It was. Remember,
Barnet.
it was Barnet.
Yeah,
it was Barnet,
so.
yeah.
Those are the sort of results you look back on at the end of a season.
I think points slipped away there.
Threw that one away.
Yeah.
So the latest in a series of free kicks here for Eastleigh. And once again, Barnett's sandwiched. No goal.
Yeah,
they know where Barnett's going to be.
Well, so that's perhaps the most effective way of trying to counter him. Have Hannigan one side of him and Malarkey the other. So, as you say, sandwiched in between the two. You can't really get any elevation off the floor, which is what happened there, and the ball sailed over his head.
A great view out of those houses at the back of the goal, haven't they? My goodness me. Did they pay to come in?
They don't, actually, no. It's a free view. I believe it appears on the estate agents' leaflets, though, when they're selling any top floor
I would hope
flats.
so. Yeah. I would hope so.
All part of the asking price.
I hope you're enjoying the coverage with us here on Alti TV. And Eastleigh, the fans are down in Hampshire, will certainly be enjoying what they're seeing right now. And Thompson, it's another scary back pass, and he
did
has
well
to put boot. Yes, he did do well, but the ball's gone back again to the opposition.
I spoke too soon.
Yeah, they've done so well up until this point, Altrincham, and the last 5 minutes have been a bit scary from them.
Yeah. They've lost a bit
Whether
of
it is that Eastleigh have upped the ante as well, and they'll certainly chase after this one and might get there. Yeah. No, goal kick.
Senior got his body in the way, good defending. Shepherded it out.
Just turning the screw a little bit. I can't really remember the last time Altrincham were anywhere near McDonald's goal at the other end of the field. They've height everywhere, though. The likes of Hollands in midfield is very tall, the number 19. Yep. Barnett up front are the two centre-backs. So they are an imposing outfit.
They are.
With Ben Strevens, the boss, and Jason Bristow, his assistant, and the goalkeeping coach, Ross Flitney, who still appears from time to time. He's been around the non-league scene forever. Yeah, there look to be one or two players with doubts in their minds for Altrincham at the moment. Densmore, not one of them. Finds his man. Nice ball it was to Hancock. Kirby's reverse ball to Moult, and they're going the wrong way again here. It's going to get back to the goalkeeper once again.
Yeah. I suppose you've got to give Eastleigh credit for pressing so much in a forward area so that the alternate defenders haven't got time to look up and find a spare player to pass, and hence it goes backwards.
Yeah, they're determined to keep the possession here, but eventually it's lost, and you see it's lost 30 yards out from their own goal again there. Where
you can overdo that, you're right.
Yeah, you can overdo it. I'm not a great advocate of just humping the ball down the field for the sake of it, but at times you have to do.
Yeah.
Okay, here, one or two chants of well done down beneath us. Eastleigh have probably got people posted on both sides of the ground. This is a long and a searching ball. Well met by Densmore. Now Mooney. It's going to come all the way to Thompson again, I think. Maybe not. You can see the doubt in the mind there. He wasn't sure where to pass that ball to at all. No whistle.
Well, I think Mooney
must be surely. No whistle.
Mooney might have lost the ball there before.
Yeah.
Rather than being fouled.
Well, the referee was close. He was in proximity.
Yeah.
So Altrincham 0, Eastleigh 1. A reminder, if Eastleigh win this one, they move on to 68 points. Only one defeat in the last 6 that they've played. So they are one of the form teams of the National League right now and are showing it. Albeit by the slenderest of margins. A little touch on from Barnet. They've got a bit more appetite suddenly in this half, I think, of Eastleigh. I'm sure the words were said in the dressing room at half time.
Yeah, we've been praising the referee. I think he's got that one wrong. He should have let I mean, he was impeded, Colclough, but he got away from that. And the referees pulled it back when Colclough was actually advancing towards and beyond the halfway line.
Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating, is there, for a player when it's just broken. I think Altrincham are going to make a substitution shortly, John.
Yeah.
You can see an illuminated board over on the far side.
And is it Kozilo?
And it's not the one that points the way to the Vice President's Lounge. Can't quite see for the moment. Anyway,
it might be Kozilo, I'm not sure.
Altrincham needs something quickly now. Well, I say quickly, they've got half an hour left in which to rescue the evening, but the longer they're behind, the more easily will close ranks.
Yeah. I think it is Kozlo coming on.
Yeah, it is.
So it should be. The sort of zip and energy.
And skill. He's got a lot of skill, Matty Kozilo.
Without a doubt. That's something that Altrincham need, I think. Just
a bit of a spark. They do need a bit of a spark from somebody.
Exactly, they do.
And they've got a free kick, so who knows? So it's the turn of their big fellas, like Hannigan and Malarkey, to be in the mix. Altrincham looking to hit back on the hour mark here. It'll be a left-footed delivery, which means it's going to bend away, hopefully, from the goalkeeper. That's exactly what it does do, but it's too high for anybody. Straight through to the left-footed goalkeeper. Yeah, so Matty Kozilo, formerly of Halifax Town and Fylde. I think he's played for Phil Parkinson before.
At Nantwich, I think.
At Nantwich,
John,
that's right.
Did. Yeah.
That's a nice touch. That's a lovely move. Oh, that's brilliant. And that certainly is a free kick. And that might even be a booking. That was a really lovely touch there. The best football we've seen from Altrincham.
The players are insisting he took a dive there.
Well, the protest there from Partington is totally unwarranted.
Yeah, let's have a look. It looks a foul, but then that was the protest, I think, that he...
Two lovely touches, weren't there? Yeah, thinking it was a bit of a dive, especially as one of their own has been booked for diving.
Well, I think that's why that added a bit to the process, I think, John.
Don't know whether the yellow card has come out or not, actually, there.
They do feel hard done by.
Yes, they do. They'll feel even more hard done by if Altrincham score.
Yeah.
But it's an opportunity for the home team here, without question.
It is. We've got Densmore and Colclough standing over it.
Yeah, it's Densmore. So
Densmore's got a decent track record for free kicks from around here. Yeah. It'd be a curler if it's Densmore. Yeah. If it's Colclough, you kind of get the impression he might just leather it.
Big moments as far as Eastleigh are concerned. Having taken the lead, they do not want to be caught up. And it is Densmore, who you say has got a good record. And I thought the keeper might have got a touch to that, but the referee's given a goal kick, but it will not have been far away.
Perilously close to that left-hand post as we look at it. That's just the way he takes his free kicks. Bit of curl.
Well, I can tell you, he's got 29 goals in the Altrincham colours over the years. It would have been a nice moment for him.
Yeah.
On a rare appearance. Moody's going off, Kozilov's coming on. No goal for Dan Mooney this evening, so I wonder if there'll be one for Kozilo. Scored plenty in his time at the Shea.
Yes, he was outstanding in his Halifax days. He's been outstanding for Altrincham this season. Back to his best, I'd say. Didn't quite work out at Fylde.
No, that sometimes happens.
Yeah.
Headers exchanged across the halfway line, and then Barnet can't bring the ball down successfully, but there will be a chase at the other end. It's a shame about that free kick. It was a lovely move, a couple of deft little touches, and a decent free kick from Densmore as well. But the action is up the other end once again now with a Barnet header, which is going towards the corner flag. Ooh, nearly run out for what would have been a corner as well. Anyway, he's managed to cope with the situation. And it'll eventually weave its way across from left to right. Once again, Densmore has had a lot of the ball in this half. Kozilo, first action for him since his arrival as substitute. He has 3 blue shirts surrounding him. Weaves the pass away for Densmore. It's back in field with Smith. Confident on the ball, Smith.
Yes.
The illuminated board on the far side is being prepared for another substitution as Altrincham get another free kick here. This one's too far away to have a pop at goal, but it's a position of encouragement once again.
Indeed. I think we're looking at Saturday's super sub.
Yes.
Mr. Pearce.
Yes, Pearce back among the goals at the weekend. Lovely ball slipped down here for Kozilo. Low centre of gravity, Matty Kozilo. Oh, he's staying down. I'm not quite sure what happened with Kozilo there, but he's down for the moment. That's a nice ball threaded in. Molt will go for the shot. It's easily blocked. And nobody blew up there. Kozilo is winded, I think, as much as anything.
The back of his neck.
Yeah.
Very strange one, that. Very strange.
Yeah. Green is impeded here, and he might lose the ball in a dangerous position, and the referee says play on, and they will play on here, and it will be Kozilo. Can he get a shot through? He can, but it's slithered across the turf, and no problem for goalkeeper McDonald.
No, Hancock did well there and picked him out well with that cutback, but Kozilo, no power in the shot really, and a comfortable enough save for McDonald.
I think we can safely predict that Pearce is going to come on. It looks as though Densmore might be going off, is it? Or, no, 29, I think.
Well, it's Alistair Smith. I would hope not.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, coaches sometimes baffle us, don't they, with substitutions, but sometimes they've no more than us.
Indeed. Generally, I'd say they
do.
No more than I do.
John will accept that, despite the fact we've seen thousands of football matches between us.
Indeed.
I would
just humble hacks, aren't we?
Humble hacks, yes. Oh, dear. Yeah, I would never have met a manager, that's for sure.
No,
now it's Molt. Then Malarkey. Tall, erect type of a player, a purposeful runner. Probing, I think, is the word for this move at the moment from Altrincham.
Patiently probing, absolutely.
Yeah, just looking for a gap anywhere in that Eastleigh defence, which is threatening to have another clean sheet. And there have been plenty of those for the Hampshire side this season. Cosilo's recovered from whatever it was. Picks his man out. And Colclough whips it across. Hard and low, but Eastleigh seem to have had a man in the right place at the right time every time so far.
They have.
Oh, down he goes. Goal kick.
Goal kick, yeah. I don't think there's much in that.
No, but they've had somebody in the right place all the time.
Yeah. Talking about hearing things, even with the crowd back in, I'm pretty sure that was Tyrone Barnett, yeah. Anyway, it came across. It is Alison. Came across. Aren't you going to book him for diving, ref?
No, right. And he went, no.
Answer no.
Yeah, Tom Pearce has come on, and Alistair Smith has gone off. Yes, it was Smith. Yeah, I didn't misread, even though the numbers upside down.
Reliable as ever.
Looked like 62 to me. Nowadays, it could have been.
Yeah.
Dear me, I did a match this year somewhere, and there were numbers 59 and 74 and 66.
It's a squad game, but that's ridiculous.
Oh, we loved 1 to 11, didn't we?
Absolutely.
Free kick, Eastleigh in front, in the driving seat in their bid to have a stab at getting promoted into the Football League. What a story that is. It's already a major story with Sutton United going up. A side that beat Leeds United only 2 years ago, and you'll remember them knocking Coventry out of the FA Cup as well.
Absolutely,
Sutton.
Yes, indeed.
But you didn't think of them as being a Football League club.
No.
However, the times they are a-changing.
Yep.
As a famous singer once said. Well, if they go 2-0 up, you think they've got 1 foot into those playoffs. It's
just beyond him.
Everybody just seemed to leave it, didn't they? Nobody seemed too bothered about that. It sort of drifted wide of Thompson's right-hand post.
Yeah.
The opponent coming in was never going to get this. Players play with injuries at this stage of the season, and just looking here at the midfield man Hollands, he can barely move.
Yeah, indeed. I think he might have picked up a slight knock trying to reach that. There's a bit of a tangle.
He really is lumbering, though. Well, you might tell the Alty faithful think it's their throw-in.
Yeah, indeed, and I think we might have to apologise there if any viewers were offended by language that may have come across on air from a disbelieving
yes,
Mr. Miley.
Yes, I think it was
That decision.
give us summit.
Yes.
He's picked out Kozilo. Who can he pick out? So can he go all the way? Oh, it's a clever ball from Kozilo, and it is a chance here. It's a corner kick, I think. Yes, it is. Clever ball from Kozilo.
Yes, it was.
Taken on to win by Pearce to win the corner. Pearce is a tall player as well, so there's even more height in there now.
Yeah, he's certainly got the goal knack coming on a sub.
A double switch here from manager Parkinson with Kozilo and Pearce coming on, and a header down. Oh, smacked in there by Hannigan.
It was.
To no effect. And straight away to the other end we go, and Senior's the covering defender.
I said Parkinson saved his side there. John, that was goal bound for sure, wasn't it?
It was.
Parkinson in the way with a good block.
It was, but again I refer to that comment of them having someone in the right place all the time.
Yeah, indeed, absolutely. Not for the first time this season, you're right. Yeah.
There's Hollands in the middle of your picture now. The one who I said is lumbering a bit, but he's been out of the picture lately, and I think they may have just brought him in for that old head experience type on a night like tonight, where the result is absolutely everything to Eastleigh. No, good pressure again. Don't lose it there.
No, taking a risk, aren't you?
Malarkey. Game's just going through a little bit of a lull. It's noticeable Densmore's moved to the centre and Malarkey across the right back just for the moment. Now they are reverting to their regular roles. Happens from time to time, that happens too often. Give the ball away, and sometimes you pay the penalty. Payne. This one will be skied over the top of Kozilo. He's not the tallest, so that's not a surprise. And then a long and a searching ball here. They've got to get this right defensively, and they do. Allowing Malarkey the clearance for Kozilo. Densmore. And Kozilo slips on the surface, which we have had some rain, but just a bit of a spat, that was all. Molt. Looking up, wondering who's going to make the move. There is a move made into the centre here. It was cleverly picked out by Molt, actually. Knew exactly what was going on around him. Good turn, good pass to Barnett, who doesn't really control, but then plays the ball back very haphazardly. That really was poor control from Barnett, to say the least. Tries to make up for it by getting involved again there now, but Senior's made a good run here.
He has.
Well, he's come 40 yards across field and played the ball in here to Hancock, who is kept at bay. You can see the experience of the Eastleigh back line there. But a good tilt this from Altrincham. There's a good few moments for them, involving Densmore again, and it'll be too long.
That's a shame.
Decent try.
Yeah, indeed, and some good intricate passing and a good passage of play there for Altrincham, but good defending again by Eastleigh. That a moment ago, that half chance Hancock had, seen him score goals like that so many times where he turns and he's just in that position and he'll bury it in the far corner, but he wasn't given the chance because he was being marshalled so closely.
You're right.
Danger snuffed out.
Yeah, Andrew Boyce and Pierce Bird look a good pairing.
They do.
They know each other's game.
Yeah, absolutely.
They shall not pass. That's the phrase for them.
Yeah.
Still 1-0, Eastleigh in the lead.
We have 263 subscribers to the live stream. Thanks everybody for tuning in, including 144 from Eastleigh, who doubtless will be enjoying the way things are going so far.
I'm sure they are. And this is another back pass, which is all they needed. They've got it right again. Barnett beaten on the jump there by Malarkey. Another substitution is imminent. Could be on the Eastleigh side next time, I think. Densmore away. Finds Kozolo. Keeps cleverly. Oh, but then he's got the free kick. It was clever play once again.
It really, really was. And it wasn't the case of whipping his legs from under him, but it was a quite cynical little foul by Michael Green, and the referee saw it. It wasn't that blatant or obvious, but the referee saw it and saw that there was no advantage coming, and not only pulled it back for the free kick, but I think quite rightly gave Green a yellow card.
Yeah, a colourful booking, yellow for Green.
Indeed, wasn't it? Yeah.
Had a free kick. But can they profit from this free kick from Matty Kozilo? Altringham's opportunity to draw level on the night. The header will be useful. It's still around in there. I think credit where credit's due. You have to say that Eastleigh have defended to a man.
Oh, without doubt, they have. Look, very solid, John.
And there will be another switch once the referee blows the whistle and tells the fourth official he can allow that substitution to be made. And I think it's going to be Hannigan going off, is it? He's just wandering over to cover Barnett again. I'm sure it's coming on, actually.
Misunderstanding there.
And the board's gone down again. This is Barnett's had one or two very curious contributions lately, heading the ball back. On that occasion, he did find one of his own. Yeah, free kick. And all of a sudden, it's Altrincham who are getting the free kicks, and it is they who are making the third substitution as well.
James Hardy.
Hardy came on in the last quarter of an hour the other evening. A player who was initially with Telford United this season, but when the National League North season was halted, they moved him here.
Yeah, he's a clever little player.
Yep. Might be Malt coming off. So here is Kozilo. Mentioned him a lot since he's come on, Kozilo, which just shows how involved he has been. And again. So good on the ball. That has to reverse it initially. Malt to Hannigan. Hannigan to the inevitable Kozilo, who's at the hub of this move. He's figured in it about 4 times already, but they haven't really got very far. Malt will step forward. He's due a goal. They haven't scored for ages, but now this is a big problem because Eastleigh have got 3 racing forward. Timing of the pass all important here, but Altrincham have managed to cover their tracks successfully with the back pass to Thompson.
It's Colclough tracking back, which he does on top of all the other things, all his other attributes. He's not afraid to get back and when needed and help out his defence, and that was his intervention there.
Yeah, I think that's fair comment. He's not had as many chances up front this evening as he did on Saturday, Colclough, which is where Altrincham really want to see him, of course, having an influence. Kirby's pass, one of those famous Hancock turns, and then a flat ball in. It's easily covered the goalkeeper in his gaze right from the moment it left the toe.
It was, yeah. I'm not surprised with occasionally trying a low curling ball into the danger rather than hoisting in the air, where we know that Eastleigh are going to win probably 95% of the aerial duels. So mix it up a bit of variety, but that was too close, certainly to McDonnell. We're
into the last quarter of an hour here. The second half's gone quickly.
Yep.
But that Barnett goal is separating the teams at the moment. Again, Kozilo shows his skills, and he finds Hancock, and Hancock dragged down that shoulder. Oh, ref says play on. Good playing on as well. And it might just be the opportunity for an equalising goal. It is an equaliser! And it is Ryan Colclough. And how well did the referee do there? Because he allowed advantage after Hancock had been fouled. It dribbled through into the path of Colclough. He finished it beautifully.
if you could give a referee, here you go, well, that's gone on from where the foul occurred. It just shows Piers teeing up Colclough for that finish from an angle. But if you could give an official an assist, John, I would most certainly say that this referee, Tom Parsons, deserves an assist for that. He deserves a pat on the back. It was great refereeing because it was such a bad foul, and it didn't look as if, for that split second, it didn't look as if Tom Piers was in a particularly good position. He had a couple of defenders around him, but he thought, no, let's see what happens, let it go, and he did. And of course, Piers managed to scramble it through to Colclough for Colclough to finish off. So it was great play by Altrincham, but particularly great play by the referee.
Nicely summed up. It's one apiece here, so questions being asked of Eastleigh. A rare goal for them to concede, and they, as a result, are going to make the next substitution. In fact, it could well be a double substitution. They are taking Barnett off. Can't say I'm too surprised about that. And they're bringing Adam Marriott on, who's a very different type of striker, much smaller for a start. And the other player going off again, I'm not surprised, is Hollands, because he's certainly been off the pace for the last few minutes.
He's not looked very mobile, has he? Sure, no, for
no, absolutely. And on comes the number 20, Ryan Hill. Ryan Hill, a 23-year-old who scored a winner recently against Yeovil. And Marriott, who I mentioned earlier, was at Kings Lynn this time last year. Anyway, it's one apiece. Altrincham won, Eastleigh won. And how the locals enjoyed that, and how great again. I know we keep referring to the fans, but they've seen their team score 5 goals in 4 days.
Yes, it's good stuff, it really is. And again, a comeback. I know on Saturday, Altrincham were 2-0 up and they threw that lead away, but they came back again to snatch it at the end. Come back again tonight to get onto level terms, and it was great to see.
I think Phil Parkinson will be delighted about it. It shows character, it shows resolve.
Yeah, indeed.
That they don't lie down. Indeed. And it would be easy to do that against a team that's going for promotion.
Yeah.
And they deserved it, actually, because the build-up had been good in the previous 5 or 6 minutes.
Yes, there have been a couple of good little passages of play, and they were threatening to open up a proper goal-scoring opportunity, and sure enough, they did there. And he had it all to do, Colclough. It was quite an angle, wasn't there? To squeeze it past the keeper.
He's a good finisher. That's goal number 8 of his season.
Yep.
His last one coming in that defeat at Weymouth only a week ago. Yep. But he's generally, I think we can use the word prolific since his arrival here.
Yeah, and they're generally from distance, but that was the other side of his finishing ability there, managing to squeeze it past the keeper and inside the far post.
80 minutes gone, 10 to go, plus added time. But don't rule out a victory for either side, to be fair.
Could be late drama.
Yeah, well, a lot of goals in football matches do tend to come late on when players' minds get a bit tired as well as their bodies. I think whoever had dreamt up the rules had that in mind. Probably. How long should we make a game of football last? Why not 90 minutes?
Yeah, I think so. An hour's nothing like long enough. It's got to be longer. Some tired minds out there.
Yeah. Ours aren't, we're still alive, full of purpose.
Yes.
Free kick Eastleigh, going to be drilled around the penalty spot area. Keeper's catch, good catch Thompson. Slightly to blame for the Eastleigh goal, but not to blame there. Very good piece of goalkeeping. And this might get even better yet for Altrincham, because Cosilla's in position to lay over a first-time cross. It's onto an Eastleigh head though. Shoots out the crowd. Oh, and shoots he does! Produces a great save. It's not away yet, Colclough. And it's out for the corner kick. What a shot that was.
Yeah, I'd forgotten. John, he has got that in his locker. He scored a goal top corner against Chester away in the FA Trophy earlier this season from that sort of distance. And wow, was that travelling? Probably moving in the air as well, I think.
Yeah, senior's only goal in the colours of Altrincham was against Chester City, as you said, and that was definitely going beneath the crossbar.
Really, wasn't it?
Good save by McDonald, though.
It was, yeah.
But questions being asked here of Eastleigh, when maybe they didn't expect it. Hancock gets a touch on it. They shout for a corner to the fans behind the goal, but the referee is the man in charge, and he says not doing. Goal kick.
Well placed to view as well there.
Yeah.
Was Mr. Parsons.
Yeah. It's been an entertaining second half in particular.
Yeah.
Eastleigh have been in the playoffs before. They lost to Salford City in 2019. But if anything, Alty have bossed the last few minutes.
Yep.
Apart from that Thompson catch.
Yes.
A little hiatus before we resume with the action with the long throw there. Have another one. It's almost like a touch finder in rugby, going further down the field, increasing the pressure with 7 minutes to go. A couple of minutes of added time. The referees do add on 30 seconds for each substitution. Well, they've got Eastleigh encamped in their own half for the minute.
Yeah.
Good pressure from Phil Parkinson's side. And I understand both he and Neil Sovell have signed extensions to their contracts. Going to be here for another couple of years.
Yeah, they've both signed 3-year deals, John, and Phil Parkinson has become the club's first ever full-time manager. Neil Sovell was already on a full-time basis because he does a lot of other work at the club, but Phil signed a full-time deal as well. It's another step forward in the club's ambitions.
Good to hear. We wish them well in those continuing circumstances. You've got to go for the shot here. He slides it through. Oh, Malt's pass is too heavy. Although Hancock's made something of it. He did well there, retrieved the situation. I thought the ball was going to be snapped up by Eastleigh. No way through this time for Colclough. And slewed away off the boot there.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
A well-spotted ref from a voice down beneath.
Yeah. A good Altrincham decision.
Yeah, yeah. Any Altrincham decision's a good one here.
Yeah, yeah.
So you fans down in Hampshire, I hope you're still enjoying the coverage, even though Eastleigh have been caught up at one apiece, and even though they're having to defend. It's still been a fantastic season, no matter what happens for them. It's long, Malt's got a touch on it now. It's Cosillo, thinks of the cross, gets the cross in.
Well,
it was Densmore, I think, went for the header.
It was Malarkey, actually.
Oh, Malarkey, yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Miley
Malarkey
stayed strong. He just did enough to prevent Malarkey getting a clean header on it for a moment. You thought you quite fancied Malarkey to get his forehead on that, but Miley was the player alongside him, and he just stayed strong enough to stop him getting the header away. Yeah,
decent ball from Cosillo, who's made a good contribution. Yeah. And Green's going off. He's been booked this evening. Green, the left-sided defender of Eastleigh. His replacement is Sam Smart, a 22-year-old who had trials at both Sheffield Wednesday and Sunderland. So somebody's seen his potential. You're allowed 3 substitutions in this league. It can get confusing when you go from match to match, as I do during the week. You get to a Premier League game and there are 9 substitutes. Yes. My goodness.
Yeah.
Can't all come on, of course, but... And then Football League matches where they have 7 and they're allowed to use 5.
Yeah, gosh, yeah.
Anyway, only 3 can come on here. As McDonald puts boot to ball. Rather fortuitous bounce, but it's Altrincham again, and the movement up ahead. Clever switch of play out to that left-hand touchline as well. Several in the middle are waiting if the cross is forthcoming, and it is. Oh. It didn't require much of a touch, but it is a goal kick.
Yeah, it was drilled a bit. Difficult for Pearce, really, to do very much with that. Yeah, it really was drilled at him, and he tried to control it or flick it on. Couldn't quite manage either, and out for a goal kick. But good, positive intent again from Altrincham. Good move down the left-hand side.
John, I'm just wondering whether Eastleigh would see this as a missed opportunity if they do only take away the 1 point, having been in front for so long.
Yeah, I think so, and I'm surprised as well that they haven't shown more since being pegged back. It's almost as if it's knocked the wind out of their sails a little bit. It's been mostly Altrincham since the equaliser went in.
It has, no question about that, and we're 3 minutes away from the 90. Partington's pass. Again, it's Partington. Decent ball, but I think it's going to be beyond Tomlinson's reach. They look a solid unit, Eastleigh, without necessarily being the most exciting team I've seen this season.
Yes, I think that's probably fair, John. Yeah, they look solid. No obvious weaknesses, but not exactly produce free-flowing football or moments of individual brilliance particularly. They just look a very well-drilled, well-organised outfit, basically.
At the moment, they're destined to move on to 66 points, and Altrincham on to 46. I think over the 90 minutes, Altrincham are worth a point.
I think so. I think it's been pretty well evenly fought, and it's been on a knife edge really pretty much throughout. So yeah, I think no quibbles about the scoreline should it finish this way.
Yeah, but it's not with as though either side's hit the bar or the goal disallowed or anything like that. That's an even contest from first to last, and we're not quite there at the last. It's 90 seconds to go. It is a free kick here for the home team, who will make the last of their switches now. Is it Williams coming on?
Yes, it is.
Thought so.
For Hancock.
For Hancock, yes. Well, Hancock, to use the well-worn phrase, run his socks off. Has done as always. Williams, a very different type of player, little midfielder.
Yeah. Busy, energetic.
Yeah, he actually is
rarely
a coach.
wastes the ball.
No, he's a coach at the Jamie Carragher School in Liverpool.
Yes, yeah, indeed. Yes.
Could he score a goal? Well, you never know. That's not bad. It's Malt's header, keeper's catch.
Lucky.
And let's see how far he can hurl it. Auditioning for the discus at the Olympics. Densmore surely will play this back for Thompson. Oh, he's put it a little bit close though. Goodness gracious me. That was very close to Ryan Hill. Unless it's our angle here, but it looked very close.
It did. Well, there was always a danger the keeper's clearance could cannon into the Eastleigh player, but fortunately for Altrincham it didn't.
We're inside the last minute. In fact, we're only 15 seconds away from the board going up to tell us how much added time there will be here in the J. Davison Stadium. Juggles it straight out of play, though, and they look to take a quick throw. And that board, I think, has got a 4 on it. I might be wrong. It has.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with the eyesight.
Absolutely, spot on. No need for Specsavers for you, John.
Williams, his first touch is coming on, and his first touch sends the ball out of play.
What were we saying? Never. What was I saying? Never waste the ball. Sorry, everybody. Apologies.
John Edwards, commentator's curse.
Exactly.
We've all done it, John. Believe you and me. I was credited Aidan Butterworth of Leeds with a winning goal in the 95th minute of a cup tie, and Arsenal equalised in the 96th minute. And then the ref blew the whistle.
Never be forgiven for that.
Never, ever. Now, we should learn, shouldn't we? Nobody's going to get that. That zips off the turf over to the advertising hoardings behind the goal. And we're close to a final whistle, but not the final whistle of the season here, because Torquay United have to come on Saturday, and they'll be needing points.
Yep, absolutely. Another one to look forward to, John, without a doubt.
It's all about now positioning, jockeying for position in those playoff places for the likes of Torquay and Eastleigh and Notts County, Wrexham, Chesterfield, Bromley. Goodness me, half a division nearly.
Yeah, indeed.
Sadly not Altrincham.
No.
But next year maybe.
Yeah, we know there are a few hurdles to clear to get promoted from last season when it was Chester, then York, then Boston United before we were finally over the line.
Oh, a long range try. It's going to be wide.
Wow. Yeah, just off the outside of his boot a little bit, but
Cosillo though, nothing wrong with having a go.
No, indeed.
Yeah, 3 goals he has this season. His last one was a winner back in March against Woking. It's Eastleigh though, coming with one last tilt. Down he goes. That's not going to impress the referee. Oh, but winning the ball back might do. Are they going to pay the penalty here, Altrincham, for a bit of lax defending? The ball is safely away. And now it's the Alty faithful who get behind the rampaging Colclough as he slows it down.
Shame.
It's not going to go out, that ball, is it? Well, it is now.
Conor Kirby won it back. Great run by Colclough, though, wasn't it? From
it was.
Pretty much the edge of his own penalty.
He looks full of confidence at the moment, doesn't he?
He's a confident lad.
45 seconds to go. No, 1 minute and 45 seconds to go. I was thinking we'd get through the additional time quickly. So it's looking like 1 point here for the side from the south, from Eastleigh in Hampshire. It's not the worst result, but they were rather hoping for 3. And for a long time after that headed goal from Tyrone Barnett, they have a free kick, and this is what you call last chance saloon. Last opportunity for them to take all 3 points back to Hampshire. So the goalkeeper's going to take... He's not going to do an Allison and go for a headed goal.
No, indeed. Get to the end of it. No, he's going to deliver it.
Yeah, it's not that imperative, of course, because they will be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
All the way, boys. 3, 2, 1 now.
He's hit it exactly where he would have wanted. And Altrincham have defended just the way they would have wanted. I think the two teams look to me almost to have settled for it. Decent contest, so maybe Partington's got something to say yet. The ball in is good. Ooh, worries here for Altrincham. Goes for the shot. That's keeper surely. Thompson dives on it, gratefully grabs the ball, and we are 30 seconds away from a final whistle, which will be blown by Mr. Parsons.
He actually did well there, Thompson, because the ball seemed to spin to a standstill a little bit, which didn't do him any favours, but he's very decisive at leaving his line in those situations, and of course he duly smothered it.
And he'll now happily hack it downfield. Only Cosilo to chase. Although it does drop down for Densmore. Densmore switch infield for Williams. Williams ball to the edge of the area for Piers. Shot good. Shot just wide. What a dramatic finale we almost had there. It was the last kick of the match. It's been an enjoyable game. Eastleigh were well on their way to 3 points when Tyrone Barnett got a header in on the cross from Michael Green. And that was after 53 minutes. Handshakes all round, but Altrincham go away with a well-deserved point thanks to a Ryan Colclough special, which came 12 minutes from the end. I think a deserved result, John Edwards.
Yes, I'd say so, John, without a doubt. And then right at the end, shades of Saturday. Sean Williams to Tom Pearce, swivel shot, keeper beaten and just shaved. Well, it didn't hit the air. It missed the post, but very, very close to it. I thought for a moment we were going to have a repeat of Saturday's late dramatics, which would have been a bit harsh on Eastleigh. I think a draw is a fair result. You're quite right there. But I thought very noticeable as well when the final whistle went that Sean Densmore went over and did a fist bump with the referee. And not only that, but made a point of saying to him, I'm sure, I can't quite lip read, but I'm sure he was saying, you had a great game. And he did. The referee was excellent.
He was excellent, yeah.
And really for the Altrincham equaliser in particular, the way he saw that he should let an advantage develop, and sure enough it did develop with Ryan Colclough's goal. So that was good to see. Finished here, Altrincham 1, Eastleigh 1. It's been an interesting game, plenty of action, plenty of good football. The point, well, Eastleigh would have hoped for more than that, but Altrincham on a good little run at this very, very tail end of the season, and they'll be hoping to continue it on Saturday when the fixtures are wound up with the visit of Torquay United to the J Davidson Stadium. We'll be here again to bring you all the action on Saturday. Thanks very much indeed for joining us this evening for coverage of Altrincham 1, Eastleigh 1. I'm John Edwards, I've been the match summariser, and we've been delighted and honoured to have John Helm with us as match commentator. Thanks so much, John.
Always my pleasure.
We look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks again, and good evening from the J Davidson Stadium.